Tell them all the stink and dirty, stink and dirty.
Oh my God.
Woohoo! I'm back. Oh, it feels so good. It has been so long. I miss this. You don't know what it's been. I've been stuck with work almost every other Saturday or Sunday. Like, oh, let me try and sneak in Saturday. No, you have to go to some party. Sunday, plenty work stuff I can't make it. Next day, can't make it. Next week, just so much pressure. Plenty pressure. But that's just life. That's just how it is sometimes. But I'm back. It feels so good. What have I missed? So many things have gone on. I don't even know where to start. I'm tempted to use this stream just to catch up on every single thing I've missed out on for the last, like, was it 2-3 weeks? I would say. What even did I miss? Let me just wait and see if anyone else jumps in. What I might do is, if anyone else wants to come in and call, I can always manage that. I just hear what other people have to say, because it is really a lot that has gone on, and I need to catch up. Yes, I do. Let's see, where do I want to start? Well, I mean, I guess maybe we'll just start with the big one. Let me get this out of the way. Now, which tab is it? Let me just make sure. I cannot zoom in on this. Oh, this does not look good. Let me see. Nope, it went full screen and I cannot escape. Oh dear. Oh no. What happened? What's these websites? Oh no. People, please allow me. What on is this happening? Oh no. Oh, why is my only option exit stream? Okay, there we go. Whew. I don't know what happened there. I clicked. Oh, I know what happened. Instead of clicking zoom in, I clicked full screen. Oh, my uncle slipped out in me. Yeah. I apologize for that. Let me see if I could make this better. Nope, it's not going better. Oh no. I think I got this. Let me see. Okay. Take two. Oh, just one that too. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. Okay. Whew. I apologize, people. I apologize for the lack of unprofessionalism. It's been that kind of day. But yeah. Let me see if I can go back to sharing this. It's been plenty trouble on my end. I don't know why. I think it's literally just this laptop. I don't know what's been happening. Well, first of all, I am upset that the laptop I got at work is so much better than this one, despite it being a much older model. Because for one, the camera works, and two, it's touchscreen, and three, it does not give issues with the mic every single time I try to do something. The amount of times I've tried to record a video or do a surprise live, and it's telling me camera disconnected, but it's the internal camera, so I don't know what disconnected. So I'll just restart my laptop. I'll try every single thing. It won't work, and then sometimes I'll just give up. Come back the next day, and everything will be fine. Yeah, it's just plenty pressure on my end. Yeah, but that's just life. That's just life indeed. But anyway, I say it's time to just jump in to the first big piece of news here. So, it happened. They had announced our new test captain and vice captain, and contrary to what many might have believed, going back to what Mash had said, it is never a dull day in West Indies cricket. Many of us were not really. I guess some of us were just outright shocked by this. Some people would have expected it, but it's still something that is just it just opened up so much discussion. So, Rustin Chase, a man who has not been in the Test side for over 2 years, comes back into the side as captain following some sort of groundbreaking selection process. I don't know if this means they used a fancy hat to draw a name out of it, but that's what happened. They used some fancy technique and they ended up on Rustin Chase. Look at this picture. Look at this man. This is the man who will be leading West Indies into a new age. Oh my goodness. Where did the picture even from? The man really hasn't played Test cricket in years. So this is probably like from 2018 or 19, maybe 2020. I don't even know. My goodness. All right, let me see. This is a crazy sentence. No, it's just a crazy group of words. Let me see here. CWI is pleased to announce the appointment of Chase as captain for the upcoming home series against Australia. Man's now coming back into the squad and he's going up against the big men. Oh my. Yeah, most unfortunate for him, but to add more, or say more insult to injury, but to add more to the news and discussion, and Mr. Jamel Warrican has been named as vice captain. Apparently, they were unanimously approved by CWI board of directors during a meeting held on the 16th. I don't fully understand it, but I'm just gonna try and keep reading and see if anything else here can help me kind of figure this out. Because a few things I'm struggling for. Recognizing the critical role of leadership in shaping team culture. For long-term success, we have had none of these. We have nothing that's been long-term. We have not had any success. Data informed, multi-dimensional. Oh gosh, framework to guide selection. Significant evolution in how leadership appointments are made, aimed at strengthening accountability, transparency, and alignment with modern cricketing standards. My word, I am speechless. I really don't know what to say. Okay, let me get it out of the way. I expected Josh, but yes, it would have been weird to have someone who was just dropped from the recent tour, the one being Pakistan, to come back as captain. But you have to admit, it's also a lot weirder to have someone who hasn't been in the squad for years to come in as captain, regardless of how groundbreaking this selection method has been. I mean, overall, it's just weird. Yes, it's there could be some metric that makes it work, I guess, or rather, whatever they had analyzed, it could be something that they see it as just like a specialist captain or someone who they think could just be, kind of like galvanize the side, I guess. I mean, it's hard to galvanize the side when you haven't been in the side, but yeah, it's very, very interesting. Let me see here. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, I want to make a video, but I just really didn't have the time. I'm looking at the options, or maybe just like a reel, looking at who I think it was. But again, some of these names are just sorry. Regardless of how you look at this, whether it be some sort of yes, they talk about the metrics and all these sorts of things. But what I'm struggling to understand is a lot of these names just seem like handpicked per se versus chosen through some sort of selection method, or have them as shortlisted based on factors including test experience. But you have had no recent experience. You now come into the side. You've also just come into the side. So that rules out this one. Captaincy credentials. You don't have any. You don't have any. I don't think you have any. Nor do you. It's just these two. And then in terms of leadership qualities, I got no idea. I am drawing blanks on all of these. I really don't know what to say on that one. So that already isn't a good start. When you look at some of these qualities that you used to describe these players, and I cannot associate any of them with some of the players you have listed. Yeah, it's a bit tough. Let me see here. I'm trying to pull up something alongside this, but I'm not seeing the exact video. I'm guessing it's something that... I found it here. I'll play this afterwards, but let's just go back to this discussion for the meantime. Alisa, hello. Yeah, no problem. Everyone's been quite busy, I can relate to. Moti would have made more sense. I can see that, but again, I think given that they've kind of officially said that when Moti was given the clear to play for the Global Super League, that he's coming back into the side, they kind of made it sound like they had dropped him. So, yeah, Moti will be an interesting one, maybe as vice captain, I guess, because he's someone that before Warwick, he's only could have probably seen as that proper spinner who stays in the side regardless. But now Warwick's just leapfrogged him. So I guess on one end, Warwick as vice captain could work because he's someone that you could say would be that spinner you would have no matter what. But even so, Warwick hadn't bowled as much in some of the other tests. So again, it's just almost a lot for debate. I think the big issue here is, I don't want to say issue, I don't make it sound like it's overtly a bad thing, but yeah. Yeah, Chase as captain, I think the big thing for me is, regardless of how you've shortlisted some of these people, when you look at them, only, I don't even know how old Campbell is, but you only have two options that you could see as long-term. Everybody else, especially the two that were picked, would probably only be there for just one WTC cycle. So that has me thinking that maybe they're really just looking at just trying to get out of this cycle. If they really think that it'll be where everyone will get relegated or there'll be a Division 1, Division 2, that they pick some people who can not only try and galvanize the side or just like motivate them, I guess. I don't know how Chase is going to do that or work on it, especially Chase, but what it tells me is they're looking more so at that as an option. But then it brings in the question, if you're looking at trying to raise your rankings so you don't get put in a lower division or probably end up playing less test cricket, then that means you have to see Chase as somebody, not just who could motivate the side, but someone who could make sure that our side has more wins. Not just match wins, but series wins. Because last year, despite pulling off the miracle at the Gaba and the one in Multan, we walked away with no series wins, the least amount of points, and most losses, I think. So of those three metrics, last year was definitely probably our worst season of all. So you're counting on Chase to at least raise one of those, at least, or probably two. I doubt they'll be looking at all. So I'm curious, when they're discussing this, I think the first option would be trying to minimize losses, because some of them were just incredibly easy. Matches were just being given away and like day one, or much less day two. So I think the first thing they're looking at is Chase someone who could help lead the side in a way that we minimize losses and in turn probably maximize draws. because I don't see us managing many wins. We're starting off against Australia, and then I think there's New Zealand and India right after. Well, I think India's next year. But we have to look for ways to maximize our wins, or at least draws. And I'm curious from what metrics they use, how they identify Chase as someone who could do that. Yeah, I find that very interesting. But more so, Hope declining it. I think that's a good thing. Because he's also somebody who hasn't been in the side for quite a while. And given that they just made him T20 captain, I feel like it'll be more important to focus on that and let him handle white ball. Just because he's someone who you could say wasn't always a guarantee, but he now has to be. Yes, that's the other thing. I'll come back to that after, but yeah, just looking at this, just a briefing on Hope, because he's now someone that, well, rather linking it to, with Hope being someone who's now guaranteed to be in the T20 side because he's captain, you might have to shift around a few players. So see what happens for the test side. Warren will have to play always, so he'll just be that spinner and a leading batter, as much as it pains me to say. But then that means that Chase has to make his way into the side. But the question is for who? I've seen a few people talk about Sinclair, but I think Sinclair, given how he's performed compared to domestic cricket, he wasn't thrown in as much as that batting all-rounder, but I guess more so just as an extra spin option, you could say. So I'm actually curious about this side, because as I'm thinking about it, I don't know exactly where Chase would fit in. The numbers don't support it. If anything, I think if you swap his batting average and bowling average, he looks amazing, which isn't a good sign, but it is what it is. Let me see here. Yeah. This was the other thing that had me kind of confused. I mean, all the points here just seemed really, really off. And I just, it's a bit hard to follow, but let me try. So a detailed assessment process that included psychometric testing, evaluated leadership style, behavior, and overall suitability for the role, as well as structural interviews focused on tactical approach, communication skills, and team culture. Yeah. I don't think you could foster team culture when you haven't been in the side. Communication skills, I'll pull up a video just now that will debunk that. Tactical approach, I don't even know what to begin because Chase hasn't had any leadership experience as far as I know. It's just, hello. Yeah. Funny story. At work, this is brings me to a great point, because at work, we've had I don't want to say issue, but we had a recurring cycle of us sending stuff for our boss and him saying, okay, this is excellent, good job. And then we'll follow up with something else, be like, oh, this is poop, change it right away. So just been this endless cycle of excellent or poop. And the way my coworker worded it is, they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what happens. And so he looked at me while I was preparing an email. I turned to him and he just reaches out his arm and goes, spaghetti. And I'm just there like, so what are you doing? He just said, oh, I sent that email and I'm hoping that they at least say it's good. And then he forwarded me the email right afterwards. And then I'm looking at like, I'm like, what's this? And I point to the biggest spelling error at the top of the page. And he's just like, dang it, this isn't excellent, it's spaghetti. And he just leaves the room and tries to go and fix this. Incredible. But yeah, long story short, it feels like they just said, oh, this is just a fancy preamble, a fancy reason to say that we threw something at the wall and let's hope it sticks. More or less. But for all we know, some of these things could have actually worked. Because I mean, if I'm looking at leadership style, I don't even know what to think of, apart from someone saying, okay, I think a good example of this is looking at Powell in the T20 side now that he's just stepped on as captain. Because when I look at him for T20, in terms of a leadership style, from a bowling perspective, there are times where he'll look like he's not always trying to enforce as much pressure. If that makes sense. I guess rather for bowling, he's just going with this time. With he's going with a template. It's only coming down to the end of an innings where it's starting to look more 50-50 that you'll see him try and change something up. But I feel like a lot of the more reactive versus proactive, I feel like a lot of that came down to just Sammy feeding him info. Which I think is something else that kind of made them think Hope could be a better job because it'll be much harder for Sammy to feed info to someone who's keeping. So I'm curious how they'll do this with Chase. Unless Sammy wants to kind of like mold him into somebody who could lead the side just for the cycle. Yeah, it's a lot of prerequisites, you could say, but everything kind of points to it being just something that they can only see as short term. Yeah. And then final recommendation came based on a weighted scoring system. My goodness. Leadership. Chase has no experience with this as far as I know. Respect within the team. You have to be in the team to get respect. Cricket knowledge. I don't doubt that. Personal conduct. I mean, sure. Media and communication skills. Whew, I'm gonna try and play this video just now. And then what's this last one? Psychometric evaluation. Who knows what that means? For all I know, they could have just asked him questions of you need to. Well, in a test match context, I guess they could have asked him conditions of would he declare at this point or would he bat or bowl first and just sort of like kind of like easy stuff to see. But I honestly don't know. Just because we've seen so little of Chase in the media, much less a leadership position. Yeah, I have no idea. We've seen a lot of instances of new captains taking over and a lot of people struggling. But in terms of a leadership style, I honestly don't know. Because when it came to Craig was a lot more reactive. So there were a lot of times where you could very easily say, oh, he brought in this bowler too late. Or it is where he clearly didn't try and enforce or put pressure back onto the opposition, so they got a wicket and then they just continued to just grind it out and come back into the game. Or times where he'll just either stick with pace or stick with spin when it clearly is not working. But I guess that also has to be with the tools he has. So if your tools are just fatten up the field, then that's just what it is. But yeah. Yeah, a few. So much of these are weird because so much of them don't apply to Chase as someone who's not been in the side. So either they're going off of him being in the white ball side, which doesn't matter at all because most of the players aren't in the test team, unless they counting on bringing some of the players in. Because that's the next thing with Sammy more so in charge. Who would get flung into the from the white ball side into the test team? I have plenty of things to consider. Okay, let me try and pull up this video of Chase because I believe this was during the Sri Lanka tour, and yeah, I just found this incredibly interesting. Let me see if I can get this up here. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if it's playing on my end. Let me see. There we go. Okay. So let me. Oh, what happened here? Okay, it's looking fine on StreamYard side. So let me just press play.
Awesome. The first match, you're quite going comfortably. How about going this one? Is it something that there was something we got or what was wrong?
Yeah, it's clear to see. Obviously, the first game, the wicket was a true wicket. And obviously, this game, the wicket was spinning a lot more. So I guess the guys were scared to put us back on a good wicket after losing the first game. So they think they prepared the wicket in the favor, obviously playing home advantage. And obviously, we didn't come out on top. So it's just for us to go back to the drawing board now and obviously think about playing the spinning ball a bit more.
West Indies are generally known to be big against spin, but I mean, is it that something that you have to work on because you are more base oriented and batters are more comfortable playing pace?
I wouldn't say that. I would say mainly we're not accustomed to the wicket spinning like that. We are comfortable playing spin, but I guess when the wicket is spinning at that pace, it's a bit different from what we're accustomed to.
Austin, you couldn't. West Indies had two spinners and they couldn't get a wicket. What was the Sri Lankan batsmen were not taking any risk or what?
Yeah, I thought myself and Moti, we bowled well, but obviously Moti bowled to two right-handers, and I thought they didn't really take much risk to him. And then obviously they knew that we only had two spinners, so they mainly took the chances against the pace.
Was that a mistake that third spinner didn't play?
I think if we had a next spinner, yeah, I think it would have been better for us, but we can't dwell on that after the team is selected.
Anybody else? Right here.
After losing the toss, and you obviously saw the state of the wicket, and it's quite contrast to the one you played on the previous day. So, what was the talking inside the dressing room, and what were you trying to, how you were trying to change things?
You can't change the team after the toss, so I don't.
Not the team. Change the things.
What things?
How you're trying to counter with the situation when you realize that you have lost the toss and you have to bowl first, and this kind of wicket. What was the team talks in the team?
You lost the toss. They put us to bowl, so we bowling first. Just go out there and try to restrict them to the lowest total as possible.
Question, sorry. I don't know if this question has been already asked. I'd like to know that given the amount of spin the wicket took, would you have been better off playing the additional spin?
I said that already.
Need I say more? I just found out too. Yeah, it was. I was just checking to make sure that the volume was playing. It would have been awful if I played through that and you couldn't hear anything. But yeah, that's how our captain might handle the media. Whew. I mean, he did raise some points about how opposition kind of did better because it's their home conditions, but I feel like it'll be very funny if nearly every time we lose, this man just comes up and says, "Yeah, the pitch just got its doctorate over the weekend, and the spin had a high degree of pace to it, and they were scared of big bad West Indies trying to make a comeback from 9th place." Incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, that's the joke I keep making in the CCP Discord, because it's the fact that the man said that they didn't have just spin, they had spin with pace. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, let me go back to this page here. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. These metrics, for all we know, it could just be hello work on it. For all we know, so much as could just be a front for picking, or for Sammy want to pick chase and work on it. Bigging up them Bajans. Shout out Selena, wherever they are. They're probably sleeping all now. But yeah, I mean, also going back to this, nothing here talks about you have cricket knowledge, but I could study the entire book of cricket laws, and that doesn't mean I could come out and hit a 6 first ball or chase 50 in the last over. I mean, so in this context, where they consider an ability, it just leads more into them thinking Chase is just someone who could try and get us out of the bottom of the table. So while that's fine, them picking Warren as the vice captain makes it an even more bizarre decision, because now you put yourself in a position where at the end of the cycle, with both of them probably over 35, both might step down as captain or might not be able to make it through the next cycle. So then you have to say, oh, well, we finished the cycle, we managed to jump from, let's say, 8th place to like maybe I'm speaking positively, maybe 6th. And they're like, okay, we did good. Now it's time for me to step down as captain and let our next man take over. And then you're like, oh, it makes it to go for the vice captain. But no, Warkham will also be 35 or 36. So he might stay vice captain or just be gone. So we're back at square one. We're back in a place where the team might be doing slightly better or even worse for all we know. And then you're back at the end of beginning of a new cycle trying to figure out who your next captain is. So that I just don't I don't understand it. Yeah. It'll definitely be interesting to kind of get used to, but yeah. Let me try and throw this back up here. Yeah, a bunch of nice stuff here about everyone being chosen. I mean, if they saw something, then I guess so. Then in terms of specialist captains, I don't really know who we have or who comes to mind. I mean, I guess maybe Owen Morgan when he was stinking down bad because England was still winning. I think there was I think the tour he retired. They had made like 490 something. Some 3 people made 100. I think he made like a first ball duck or like a 7-ball duck or something. But yeah, things like that as a specialist captain, I just find that so weird that in a side where men are fighting up to stay in the squad, you're forcing somebody in to be captain. Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah, we home full of energy. Chase was not full of energy in that press conference back then, and the other one he did recently. Man needs plenty energy. He needs coconut water, Lucozade, red mango, something. Yeah, so much pressure. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Australia probably mash us up, but they probably will mash us up. If we get to one draw, then it'll be groundbreaking. There was something else here I was trying to pull up, but I'm not seeing it. Let me see here. That other than changes in the score, but I'm really not seeing it here. I have 2 things here labeled Cricket West Indies inclusion in the Olympics. I think they might have labeled one wrong. Let me see. Either that or they just put the same article twice. Let me see. Yeah, I think they just put the same article twice. My goodness. Alright, let me try and fight up with this site again. My goodness, West Indies. Okay, let me see. It should be under news, but okay, that's England squad. Is it this? No. Did they not announce this? Am I making this up? Am I pulling this out of nowhere? I'm pretty sure they did. Let's say I added it to the original post. Let me see. Did they edit it somewhere down here? No, they did not. Alright, forget it. Okay, basically, Rutherford and Shepherd are going to be staying in IPL, and John Campbell's replacing one of them. I think who's the other person? Oh, the Big Hetty. Hetty comes back into the side. So, I made a prediction like a while ago, but it seems true that the only way Hetty comes back into the side is just as the injury replacement. Okay, let me see if I found it here. Big up CCP Discord. Yeah. So John Campbell's replacing Rutherford for the Ireland ODIs. Shimron Hetmeyer comes in for the England ODIs. Jediah Blades replaces Shepherd for both of them, and then Shamara is going to Ireland. So I can only assume that means he opted out of returning to IPL, so I guess he's just going straight to Ireland now. I don't know about probably for England, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, on one hand, I do think it speaks well of our players that we have people other than just Puran, Narayan, and Russell that are looking like they're really valued by the IPL franchise, because we haven't really seen it apart from them. It's only really those three, because Hetty's fallen off the biggest cliff you could imagine. Because since that video I made, he's fumbled chase after chase. I mean, the worst one was seeing him come in the power play. I think it was like 5 down. Him being used to batting early. Not in this situation, we're still batting early in for West Indies and for Amazon Warriors. And this man comes in and pulls the great Jasprit Bumrah first ball and just goes straight to the man in the circle. Dunce, stink, Hetty, what are you doing? Man had me so vexed at work, nearly spoiled my whole day. I don't even know what to say about him, yes. But yeah, he's just bottling chase after chase. The fact that Rajasthan is so limited on overseas people that they have to play him, and they've ended up with so many chases being failed because he's the only other person they could count on. It's just, yeah. So yeah, I doubt he'll play any of the England games. He might just be there sightseeing. You might as well send him down to the countryside and just explore. If not, just have him only bring water, and that's it. But yeah, Campbell's another interesting one. He was before my time. Well, I don't want to say like that. I know of him, but from when I became interested in West Indies cricket, I didn't really know him. So him coming back into the side, it'll be interesting to make up for the big absence of Rutherford, which is a big loss. I mean, I like that Gujarat have really used him as a proper player. I mean, he hasn't batted in a few games, but he hasn't really been needed. I mean, look at the game this morning. You chasing 200 and you don't lose a wicket and you do it with an over to spare? Incredible. Yeah. It's a side that respects him, you could say. Because, yes, he didn't play the 2 games, but they see him more than just someone who bats 5 and 6 or 7. Because Lucknow made the call to fling Puran up and he's worked before. He's kind of fallen off, but it worked. They've done the same with him and it's worked out pretty well. But they just haven't done it with Hetty. And I think just so many things going against him that I just don't see him playing any of the cricket. Shepherd's another interesting one because I don't really see him as a major part of the ODI side yet. I mean, he's always there and about. I think, I mean, Blades was just... Blades is not ready. So I feel like he's the next person who might... but the problem is they're replacing people who usually play. So Campbell will play all. Jediah Blades might have to play some of them, if not all. And I think, was it... he bowled like, I think, 6 overs for 70-something runs against England. Yeah, or was it Bangladesh? I don't even remember. Yeah, he did not look ready. So it's just a next tough thing. Shamar, what is the purpose of? I don't want to make it sound rude, but in terms of Shamar in white ball, we still don't know what he is as yet. He's done well in some of the T20s, just kind of across some phases, probably most in the middle, just knocking down men with pace in like the few CPL games we've seen. But yeah, in terms of ODIs, I don't think he's there as yet. But even in tests, we're still trying to figure out what he does. So it's just a process. Yeah, then that's really it for that. Going back to the thing about the West Indies players in IPL so far. Apart from big up Kendrick, not the big three, it's just big me. The big me here is probably Puran, despite falling off a form. But in terms of like people who are like the more recognized West Indian players, now the first one that comes to mind probably now is Puran, because Russell has come back a bit. Narayan is very, very up and down. Him as opener has not worked at all. I think it's worked like once or twice, but no consistency. Real West Indian heritage. And then Hetty's wallowing at the bottom of the table. Shepard had that absolutely incredible innings. I mean, man just he was kind of stink with the ball. 18 over about 50 from 14 balls. I mean, yeah, you have to big up the man regardless. So yeah, yeah. Had he not played that one game, I don't even know who it was. I think everyone in RCB was getting sick, so he had to come in. And from that one innings, he's like, "Oh, what have we been doing? This man has to play." And then the other one was Livingston. Livingston was fat. He was terrible. I mean, the only way he got to his 150 for the season was that to drop him 18 times. But yeah, he's been horrendous. So it's good that Shepard got his chance. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen them play for West Indies. It would have been nice. But on one hand, is at least all West Indian stocks in franchise cricket have really dropped because it is plays in perfectly to looking at the Major League Cricket picks for LA Knight Riders. You mean to tell me you have a big team, you're picking from a good crop of players who are probably now emerging with all these leagues coming about. You're like, oh, I've seen some names here. This could give me the edge in this competition. And good old Big Phil goes for Alex Hales, who's 50, Spiceman, who is 70, and then Jason Holder. I mean, big up TC's eldest son. But yeah, if you have first pick, those names don't exactly speak confidence. But I mean, big up Phil for doing his part in getting West Indians back in franchise cricket. It's at a cost, but but yeah, that's just what's happening. So yeah, I do like it. I think the best one I've seen so far is that Gujarat Titans have been looking for someone to carry on the legacy of David Miller, because when he came back in, he had come back into incredible form, made it back into South Africa side, was a big player for them, and a lot of people are just saying that Rutherford seems like the person to carry that legacy, and I think that speaks very, very well of him. So there's that, but yeah, it would have been nice to see them come for West Indies, because they would at least be doing, because Rutherford's been doing so well in ODIs as well, or just white ball in general. That's what got him that IPL deal again. So it'll be nice to see him go back to West Indies and kind of do more of that to kind of maintain that deal. But I guess by playing for IPL, that's what he'll do to kind of maintain that contract. So there's that side at least, but still, I mean, big up to the man. They're doing good. All right. I don't really know what else. I mean, I have so much tabs here. That's to tell you how behind I've been with a lot of these things. Because I have tabs here dated from stuff for like March, and we're in May. Yeah, very, very, very tough. Let me see here. I don't want to sound like I'm scrounging around for things, but yeah, those are the main things to discuss. I had exit off because it was showing up multiple times, but this looking at cricket West Indies in the Olympics, I do think this is a good point to bring up, because if you're considering cricket in the Olympics, you would have there'll be India. Well, how do I say this? You would have the big countries you would expect, but then I guess in terms of actually, I honestly don't know how the debate if it is, because I heard, unless it's been confirmed or not, I heard debates of it being teams that they would pick, or I heard someone proposing it should be like under 23, but I don't think most of those would work. I think it might just be they'll just pick some international teams. But in this case, apart from it just being individual nations, because I don't think any of them would work. Like, I do not expect the West Indies team will probably fare way better in the Olympics than, say, a Red Force or Happy Eagles. So there's at least that. I have it here. Okay, so CWI is advocating for either, if rankings are used and West Indies men and women technically qualify, an internal qualifying tournament among its affiliated member countries will determine which country represents the West Indies. Does that. Or a global qualifying pathway that includes associate ICC members in the top 5 development region plus members of the West Indies. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, West Indies is unique because it's just about a set of islands. A set of nations, so yeah. We'll have to see how that goes. It would be very cool to see cricket in the Olympics. Because when it first started, I've heard the idea of it being T10 getting thrown around, and I'll be very against that. But I do not think that's. I mean, it'll be the easiest to fit into the Olympics. But if you're looking at cricket, I don't think that's the best thing that could be done. I feel like it'll just have to be probably just a knockout of a loss and you're out of T20s. Probably like 6 teams, I guess. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. So there's that out of the way. You know what? I'm just gonna... Let me see if I can pull this up here. I don't know if I have any of this saved in my project management dashboard. I've just been that busy. Let me see. Did I put anything in here? I did not. Oh well, I'll just save that for a video. Yep, that's just how it is sometimes. What I will do, because I have all these tabs open, is I'm just gonna do a quick look back at the West Indies women and how they had performed in the World Cup qualifiers. Because I hadn't seen many of the matches, I just saw some of the results, but a few of them were a little they weren't as good as what I would have expected, honestly speaking. I mean, this first match against Scotland, what, wrong one. Oh, what am I doing here? Forgive me, people. I am so sorry again. Let me see here. Summary. Yeah. Yeah. Queen Hayley herself had to limp off the field, came back, made 100, and then the rest of the team still fumbled. No, this was so tough. I didn't get to see any of this game, but checking back at the scores, I'd seen where Hayley had to retire. But yeah, the rest of it just was not good at all. I mean, it literally just her. You could say Zeta James did pretty well. I mean, 45 from 89. But then nothing else. I mean, extras continues to be so consistent for the West Indies side. Every time I see it, I'm like, one day it probably won't be, but it just continues to happen. Oh dear. All right. Next game, I mean, the Ireland and this one looked like Ireland could have had it at some point. Like, I think if we had lost this, all hopes would have been done for. I mean, yet a shortened game, but they were okay in the end. Big up Henry and Stefani, Zeta. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, they were like 6 down and they had like a pretty good chance, but then we just got a set of wickets at the end. So yeah, big up Hayley again. Yeah, there was that. The rest of the games, I mean, yeah, just more licks. I mean, a game that we should have won but failed. A game we came close to losing but managed to pull it out. Sorry, this one, and then this one was just another fumble on our part. I mean, it didn't look like we would win it, but yeah, not much good to say from this one. After that, I thought we might be out of it. But we did manage to pull off a good one against Bangladesh. Honestly speaking, I'm surprised that. Honestly, I'm surprised because I know that apart the main Bangladesh team is horrendous, but the under 19 team and the women's team are doing, and the 18 are doing very, very well. It's just the actual team that has been stink, and I don't know what it is. They're just so funny that everyone except the big team is doing so well. But yeah, this was a good win here. So I was like, okay, the women have a chance. I feel like they could do this, but yeah, what was it they needed to chase? Yeah, they chase like this in like 10 overs, or like 12 overs, and they honestly came so close. This was incredible. I remember seeing the highlights of this and just going, seeing 6-4, 6-4. I'm like, oh my goodness, could they do this? Could the women actually manage to pull this off? But unfortunately, no. They needed to hit a 4 and a 6, and Stefani came a little too. She was a little too strong. A throwback to that KL Rahul innings in the ODI World Cup where he needed to hit a 4 and then I can't remember what it was. He needed to hit a 4 and then I think probably a next 4 to get to his 100, but he hit it too hard and it went just over for 6. And the man was looking so good, he just falls to his knees that he could make the 100. It was real funny, despite how sad it was. But yeah, the fact that they came so close, they could have literally made the story of the ages and have chased 166 in under 12 overs and pulled off a qualification. But the other thing is, if had they done this, not only would it have been amazing, but it's a matter of, but should we have been in that situation to begin with? Because for the entire tournament, let me see, can I go to the stats for this? Let me see if I can pull it up here. It will. Yes, we got the wickets, but in terms of runs, it was really just Queen Haley. Her back was mashed up from just carrying the whole team. Rank 4, 240, incredible from her, and then you just scroll back down. Chanel Henry did alright. Then you just keep scrolling 100, and then there's really not much else. I mean, it doesn't speak well that you have you have your main players just getting all them runs, amazing average and strike rate. Next one, amazing average and strike rate. You continue, and then it's like, all right, okay-ish, and then the rest is just, yeah, yeah. It looked like they could manage. They looked like they were gonna manage it, but was not to be for the woman. So a bit unfortunate on that end. Let me see what else I have here. Okay. I had the picture for this, but I'm not able to pull it up anymore because everything here is giving us set of trouble, and a lot of it falls under the West Indies website for being awful in terms of managing stats. Because let me just come to it here. Let me just go back to sharing my screen. I need to vent about this bus out league. Tell me, why is it you have... they never do anything for articles, nothing for videos, nothing for photos. But then when it comes to stats, not only did this take incredibly long to update, but why did I could only see the top 5? Like, why is there no big records for some of these things? I mean, some of these players have no data on them, and if I pull up their name, I can't check it. Why? Shameful. But I mean, yeah, breakout leagues, bust down leagues, done and gone. Everybody had bust down already. Trinbago uncles claimed the title, as I thought they would. I mean, yeah, they were doing the best. It might have been. I was thinking between maybe Winwoods or Trinbago. They're looking the best. I mean, Winwoods has usually been awful, but I was very surprised to see them do good. I mean, Leewoods was also looking pretty good. But then I think Winwoods had Fat Dong in that eliminator, and then it was Trinbago and Leewoods. But then Leewoods did the next fat up and gave it to the uncles. I mean, yeah, these three all look pretty good at points. Definitely games they gave away. These two at the bottom, I mean, big up TC, her 2 passports, wallowing in pain. Yeah, not much good to say from them. All right, but yeah, just they were the best. And then, I mean, yeah, I do okay. Going into more detail for this, I am very happy to have seen Kofi James with this performance, because from what I've seen in CPL, I've liked what I've seen, but it was never really enough, you could say, because they're just, well, Antigua was just so down bad. People were in and out. They won't make it that much run. So this is very good from him, and I hope to see this more in CPL. Kevlon's been pretty good as well. hopefully this is a sign that Guyana will give him a chance, because it makes no sense retaining somebody just to play them when the league's over. You've already qualified or you're already out, and regardless of how good they do, they just don't work. I mean, if you see somebody from your regional team performing well, and when it comes to big CPL, and you still have Moti, Pretorius, Reefer opening the innings ahead of men like Kevlon, and then I guess Nandu, but Nandu wasn't here, but you get the point. That's just more and more pain. But yeah. Johan Jeremiah was pretty good. Josh was also very good. I think when you're coming into battle, it was a mix between 3, 4, and 5. But a lot of times he came in and did the job, so I like that. A touch disappointed with Alec. I mean, my stocks for him have just been on the decline. They were so high up. I mean, when I first started doing like blogging and actual research on West Indies cricket, it was because Alec had just gone picked for, I think it was one of the South Africa sides. But then, yeah, just been not as good. I expected him to probably be somewhere here, maybe here. I mean, he had that incredible first innings, well, in the first match, but then not much else. All of it is just some dunces, just going for that big sweep, typical Alex style. But yeah, that's just how it is. Wickets, McCann McKenzie. I had no idea who this is. This is what told me that there were 2 people named with the last name McKenzie in the league, because someone said McKenzie is one of the standout players. Poor Kirk. But yeah, that's how it is. I mean, yeah, Blades. I know I was talking about how Blades wasn't ready for that level of West Indies cricket, but here he's doing really well. So I mean, he's not ready for that level yet. So give him more time here. Ryan John, I've heard some things about. I can see a little bit more. But Bidesi, this is one of the names I never heard of, and man, we're just coming in, flinging up some medium spin, not spin with pace, but just some all right spin and getting wickets. Doesn't speak well of the region again, but cool to see. Sixes, I mean, this is cool, I guess. I wish I had it for 4s. That would have made more sense for 40 and Super 50, but yeah. Best individual scores. This is one of the matches I saw. This one was very good. He deserved 100. I think he did a dunce, as we usually do, and he got out. But yeah, they did pretty good. Camille Puran with that innings in the final was nice. I think this Brackwell inning was like a struggle for the most part, and then I don't know who it was probably Guyana who were just serving him up some flying fish, and man was dining. Paris is another interesting one, because we've seen a lot of him. It's not to say we've seen a lot of good, but there's definitely been bits and pieces you could say, okay, maybe there's something here in a few years. So let's just see how it goes. I doubt he'll play as big of a part in CPL. So I don't think we saw much in Super 50, but we'll just have to continue and see. Okay, for the bowling, I liked a lot of what I had seen, mostly from Nathan Edwards and who's it also? Mackenzie. Yeah. Big up the spin man again, but that's just how it is in the region. But a lot of times you could say that this was it wasn't just straight and just throwing something up and people going for a ridiculous shot and getting out. There's a few deliveries where you could say, this person, that was a good ball. I respect that. So there was that at least. There's a few good things to take away from the Breakout League. But I do think the main issue was there was let me see here. Yeah, Lee was fatted it up here. Winwood's absolutely fatted it up here. I was tired of smelling some of these matches through my bedroom window. But yeah. As it went along, it was alright. I mean, this was the big shocker for me. I did not expect any of this from Winwoods. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. I'll say this for a video, But what I want to do is go through all of this and just go into more detail about who impressed me, or like split it up in terms of West Indies players, people you know from CPL or Super 50 or 40, and then names you never heard of, and just split it up in the sense of this is who I know that impressed me. This is who I know that really let me down, and these are people I have no idea of, but they impressed me. Yeah, but right off the rip, Shadrach, no consistency whatsoever. I was hoping this would be something good for him, but it was not to be. Yeah. But which is just so sad, because I mean, you see all these things about teams posting about all these men making 50s and 100s in Dream 11 T10 somewhere in the bushes of whatever country, or getting top scorer, top wicket taker in whatever small regional league, and then they come here and nothing to speak of at all. Yeah, that's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, painful. But yeah, I feel like that's just how it was. I don't want to make that video and go more in depth for it. Wait, what else I want to make a video about? I've been real struggling for time. Let me see. In terms of topics, I could scratch off the women in the eliminators. I could scratch off break bust down league review. There's a few things here that now I'm thinking about it, I could probably kill two birds with one big stone and make it a stream, and then just post parts of the stream as the video as highlights and make it into a video. So I might do that. Yeah, I feel like that's really it for me from today. I just want to get all that out of the way and catch up on what I've missed. But there is one last thing I want to discuss, because I really want to try and do this. Let me just throw it up here. Yeah. So this Ireland tour. So this match here, this Wednesday match that's coming up soon, 5:45 a.m. I'll probably be in and out of looking at it at work. But this same thing with this Friday one. But this Sunday one, I am very tempted to stream it from 5:45 a.m. If not, what I might do is I'll probably wake up, because I'm so used to waking up early for work. So if I'm up Sunday, what I'm tempted to do is, whatever time I wake up, if West Indies are batting first, I will stream that. I'll see if I can stream most of their innings, and then what I could do is come back maybe towards the end of their bowling, or if they're batting late in the day, I could probably try and stream all of that, or maybe start with a little bit of the end, or rather the end of their bowling innings. So I'll try and do that for next Sunday, the 25th. But then looking at the T20s, Saturday morning game, Sunday morning game, I could very well stream those games, and I feel like it'll be very fun. I could wake up early, eat some yogurt, make some sort of food, and just have some fun. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. I will try and do that mostly for the Sunday game, because I'm used to streaming on Sunday, so I think it'll work out very fun. So yeah, I feel like that's it for me. I apologize for the lack of consistency. I mean, a lot of things have just come up, and I really tried, but I really couldn't make it. So I feel like what I might do is go back through this and kind of consider what I want to make into probably a more in-depth video. Because I think I discussed 4D and then the balls tampering from Guyana. There's a few other things here that I could probably make just a short video and combine a few topics, or just make it into like a 5-minute recap. So I'll see if I can do that. But yeah, I feel like that's it for this WereWolf Hour. I need to go make dinner. So thank you all for your time. I'm so happy to be back streaming, because this is so much fun for me, because I get to talk about cricket, and it's a perfect stress reliever. It also gives me more reason to drink water. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, thank you all for your time. I will try and see you all Sunday at 5:45 a.m. Trinbago time. If not, then probably whatever time. If West Indies are chasing, whatever time their innings start, I'll try and jump on for that. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. But I will commit myself to that. I will be sure of it. All right, thank you all. This has been a good welcome back into the Werewolf Hour. By the time I bid you all adieu, adios.
Tell them all is stink and dirty, stink and dirty.
Oh my god.